I think, even if the opportunity is not for me or for you, there are people for whom this is an opportunity because they have the will, the money, and the wherewithal to make this happen and do it at a high level. Because I think if we're going to service us, we need to service us in a very specific way. And I need to double down on the health properties, just because there are health properties. And I was so anti CBD even, but you talked about the cannabinoids one time you were on and how our bodies are naturally, we need, and I was like, okay. And then I did my little research. I was like, she is absolutely correct. It is a natural product that it works with our system and it recognizes it. I was like, okay, all right, I'm all in for the pain relief and all of the relaxation and the sleep properties that come with it. Those of you who are insomniacs, you will appreciate that. Okay, go ahead, Tonya. I know you got other questions.
Well, no, I'm not going to do you like that today. I'm like, you're so, I wanted to ask sort of like, if you've like watched the Israeli documentaries about them discovering 50 years ago, how this could help children with cancer. I mean, there's just so many things that it's good for people's health. And I'm like, so what did you do? Have you never done it ever?
No, I've never, but I don't believe in smoking. I'm not saying I would never do, maybe edibles down the line, but so there's like, for me, anything that alters my sense, like if I guess I was in so much pain, but I'm also someone that pushes through pain. Like it's just the way I'm wired. No disrespect to anyone that does it, and there's no judgment. So don't judge me for not doing it. But I'm just saying, it's just never been something, even when I was in college, when everybody was doing it, I was like, why? I already am uninhibited. I'm going to say whatever and do whatever. Don't need it. Good.
I'm going to say this. The first time I ever did pot, I was in my 20s. I was with my husband. And I don't know why he convinced me to try it. And I became very paranoid. And I thought I'm not normal anymore. And I don't remember what normal was, and I'll never be normal again. And so I'm too much of a control
that was
person.
the source.
Like, I can't do this.
See,
I don't like that was the
so you right now are the poster person for why I will never do pot. Thank you, Tonya, because I don't want to alter this goodness that I have going on right now. I'm happy with it. But go ahead, Dr. Chanda.
Honestly, a lot of Black people are afraid to use cannabis because they don't want to get locked up. Let's just talk about the truth. It's just, who's been locked up for cannabis use? Us. So, we're a little hesitant, but those that really need it, use it. And those that are like, want to have their freedom will stay away. I mean, until these laws change. So, I mean, this is a typical conversation I have every day.
So, and people with saving from the pain, they getting their medical license and making sure that they have it.
Yeah.
And they should get it, particularly folk who are in pain, who have glaucoma, who are, going through cancer. I mean, this is important. And we know medically that it helps, period. But I'm also for me, alcohol, cigarettes, and every, red meat. Like, if I'm going to do it, let me just be not a hypocrite on any level. And so that's just, and I'm also like that, little persnickety.
When my mother had her radiation and they had to radiate her genitals for her cancer, they wouldn't give her medical marijuana in Chicago. And I was telling off everybody at the hospital, that she had the right to that, because she was like, that pain was so bad, she was going to forego the radiation and just die rather than go through that pain again.
So, those doctors don't know how to dose medical cannabis. They're not trained in it. There's only 9 medical schools in the nation that actually teach you about the endocannabinoid system. So they don't recommend it because they don't know what it does and how it works. They are not educating themselves, and the standards of traditional health are not helping them educate themselves. So that's why we get all our knowledge, like you said, from the Israeli doctors, everyone outside of the country, because those are the ones that are the leading experts.
Dr. Macias, Dr. Chanda's here, Chanda Zulu, Dr. Chanda Zulu on the Twitters is where you can follow her. When did you get into it? What was your entry point? And because you've been in it a while, you and Wanda, these are like pioneers for Black folk in this space. When was your entry point, and what brought you to this?
Well, I went to Howard University and I studied cancer for over 10 years there. I studied breast cancer first. I studied prostate cancer, metastasis to bone. And in all of my studies, there was always something about cannabis and how it could treat the symptoms of cancer. And when I went to research it, it was banned. You couldn't research it in the United States. So that was my first entry point. And the moment it opened up that I could actually do it on a legal level or semi-legal level, I jumped into it because this is what I've been trained to do. So that was about 2012 is when it's been 10 years now. I just jumped in there, wrote my application. It was every bit of 697 pages and won. And yeah, it was serious and,
Wow.
never looked back.
So now what do we know? Just tell us, as Wellness Wednesday, give us the medical, what you know, what you've learned over the 10 years of studying about cannabis versus hemp versus THC versus the CBD. Like, what do you know? Tell us.
Well, first of all, it's 420. So this is our holiday. We're all excited today. This is Patient Access Day. We can all, celebrate that we're moving forward towards legalization. And what's so good about that is that a lot of people don't know that endocannabinoids or cannabinoids that you get from the plant is actually produced naturally in our body. We're just deficient of them after evolution. Over a period of time, our body doesn't produce the same amount to keep us in balance. So when we're not balanced, you'll start to see those mental illnesses come out, cancer come out, MS, epilepsy. And so all we're doing is reintroducing cannabinoids into our body so we can get that balance again. And so that's the scientific cell signaling pathway behind it. And now there's different strains that have different benefits. So if you think about your lemon skunk, well, lemon, as you know, and everyone knows, is a natural diuretic. We take it, it helps us use the bathroom, it keeps us regular, and it also gives us a little lift and focus. You put that behind a little bit of THC and it punches you like that, and it intensifies that same effect. So that's really what we see with our strains. We see strains aligned with a different condition, and you get wellness and you get a better quality of life. So it's truly a medicine. And I've seen and helped over, I'm gonna say 10,000 patients. And we'll never turn back to traditional medicine because it just didn't help them the way it needed to help them.
866-801-8255. Tanya's here. Dr. Macias, Chanda Macias is here as well. Go ahead, Tanya.
Dr. Macias, what is hash in the cannabis thing? What is hash?
It's so easy. Let me tell you, so interesting. You get me excited with these type of questions because this is what I was born to do. You take a plant, right? And you have the bud. We call the bud the flower. You shake it real hard and these trichomes fall off. That's where the THC and the CBD and the cannabinoids are present. So then you take all these trichomes and you gather them up and you can press them together, and that's the hash. It's a concentrated form of the medicine. So what people do to get different effects, they might use the hash from this strain and hash of this strain, because one might help with mental health or mental uplift. And then one might deal with like physical pain, like a blue cheese, for example, and you mix them together, you get the uplift and you get the relaxation.
Do you publish a book of the different strains and what they work for or something like that?
I have them at our offices, our locations, and we help the patients with that. What I need to do is write a book.
So hello, hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, let's do that. I think we should do that and put it exclusively in Nubia.
All right, let's do that.
Let's go.